Hi, welcome to Rose Opal Knits, our crafty podcast.
This is episode 62, and I'm Daphne.
And I'm Erica, and we are a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law duo from Delaware. So, hey, how you doing? It's been an extra week. Sorry we didn't let you know that we were going to take an extra week, but I was under the weather and even had to go to the doctor and get an antibiotic. But I'm all better now, so so we're back here. And we're going to start talking about all the crafty goodness that we've worked on the last 3 weeks. And you want to just jump right in?
Sure.
All right, finished objects.
I got one first because I'm wearing it.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm not like stepping back like her. Anyway, so this is the Swift Top by Cool Stitches, I think. And it's a free pattern, like on their blog or something. But if you want to download it, you got to pay for it. So it's free. I did change it a little bit. I knit the ribbing longer, and then you can't really tell, but they're stockinette also. So just the bottom ribbing and the stockinette are longer than what it calls for. But it is out of Peaches and Cream Oasis color, which I got from Walmart, which is actually a really good price for it. But it took just under 3 balls to make it longer. And I used a US 5 for the ribbing and US 7, which is crazy because it's a worsted weight on those needles for me. Like, I could not get gauge though.
I hear a lot of people who knit like the tanks and stuff that like that, but they have to go down a lot of needle sizes to get that tight gauge that you want.
It was crazy, but okay. I knit this a lot. Because I knit the ribbing one night. I came home and I was like, I think I was at my parents' that night. I came home, casted it on wrong size needle. Well, it wasn't wrong size needle. It was just not the needle I needed to use. I used a 6 for the ribbing the first time and knit 4 sizes too big because I didn't read the pattern, right? So I finished all the ribbing and I was like transferring it to the next size, like knitting it for the next needle size up. And I was like, this isn't going to fit me. Like, it was literally, like, double my size. And I'm like, I won't be able to wear this one, like, at all. And I was already through, like, 1 full ball of yarn. I was like, that's not going to fit. So I had to rip that all the way back, rewound the yarn, knit it again on the right size, wrong needle still, knit the whole entire top, just not the straps, there are little straps. But knit the whole body of it, and the gauge was just off, so again, it was too big, and I was like, this one needs to be fitted to, like, it would look fine not fitted, but for what I wanted, it needed to be fitted, and it needed to be longer, so I knit it too short, and then on the wrong needles, so then I ripped it all back again, and then knit it all again, and it finally fit. So,
It's well.
I really like it. I worn it once when me and Holden went out to dinner for his birthday, and it does fit really nicely, actually. So, but that's my finished object.
All right, I have one finished object. It's not 100% finished because I haven't sewn in the ends or blocked it yet, but all the knitting is complete. So here it is. I finished my Gracious sweater. You mind holding it? Okay. So the last time I showed it, I was down here in the ribbing. So I finished the 1x1 twisted rib, and then I knitted both sleeves. So I was up here, knitted down here, and then was up here and knitted down. And I did shorten the sleeves. So I followed the pattern. I did make the sweater longer, and but then I made the sleeves shorter, and the sleeves don't call for any kind of decreases, and I usually always do decreases in my sleeve because I like a fitted sleeve, but I decided not to do decreases, and I made it to about this length here, and then I did a rapid decrease and did a very short twisted rib. I was going for the look. It's a 10 can knits pattern, and I forget what it's called. The wedlock. something like that. And I was going for the look of the sleeves on that. And I'm happy with them. I can't wait to see it all blocked and everything, but I'm in no rush. It's hot outside. I'm not going to wear this anytime soon. So all of these yarns that I used are from the Yarnbrary. It was the Hunger Games. They were part of the Hunger Games collection. And this one on top is Caesar Flickerman. Caesar Flickerman. This is...
The boy with the bread? No, that's
yes,
okay,
it is.
okay,
The boy with the bread, which is PETA. And then this one is Primrose Everdeen. And the last one is Effie Trinket. And this gray, that I used to divide all the colors is Coop's Knit Socks Yeah. And I can't remember the exact color. But I'm really happy with it, and I enjoyed knitting it. It was my Christmas Day cast on. So it lived in this Christmas bag from Delightful Works on Etsy. And now I can put this bag away, give it a rest until the Christmas season again.
I like this color in Effie. I don't know if you could see that little purple and pink combo.
So in case you were wondering, this is what I have left. That's the Yarnbrary tag. And this is what I have left of each color. So I have quite a bit. I can make socks, a couple pairs of socks. And let me think. I knitted the size 3, and I used a US 6 needle for the body and a US 5 for the ribbing, although the pattern doesn't call for you to go down for the ribbing at the hem of the sweater, so I did not. But I did use a US 5 for the ribbing at the neck and at the cuffs of the sleeves. And that's all I can think of. So, but I'm happy to have that off my needles. Do you have any other finished objects?
I do. I have 2 more, actually.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to show my float tote. There it is. All right. That's where I was, roughly. But I finished it because I wanted to put a new project that matches this in it. And the yarns are Sugars and Cream. This one, something desert. I don't remember. It's something desert, and then just the brown. So, and I knit this is not knitting. This is crocheted. I crocheted the 5 skein tote, and then I did I don't even remember what that's called. The spiked edging. I think it's like option 3. There's 3 different options you can do to finish it off. And I used a J hook.
And I should say this now. I should have said it in the beginning, but I didn't. We do have show notes, so if we discuss something, you can find what we discussed or links to what we have discussed in the description box below. We do keep Ravelry, or we are keeping Ravelry project pages for every project that we work on this year, 2022. We don't always do it, but this year in 2022 we are. All right, I don't have any more finished objects. So.
And I have a pair of socks too. These are for Father's Day. I already gifted them, and they were for my father-in-law, so her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on this one where that stitch marker is. So I finished the foot and the toe, and then knit this whole other one. It's a DK weight. It's Barocco Vintage. I think it's in the mocha color. I'm pretty sure. It's the same color I used for my bean and olive. But it's just leftovers. I used a US 3, so 1x1 rib, stockinette, and then heel flap and gusset, and then the round toe, which is on Rose Opal's website. Mm-hmm. So those are those.
All right.
Apparently they're too small.
Just a little.
I'm gonna steam them because Barocco Vintage is a acrylic wool blend, and I think steaming them will give him a little extra room. I went based off my cashmere socks that I knit him, and they're the same numbers and everything. They just apparently are too small.
Well, the wool in the cashmere was probably easier for him to stretch out. Yeah, they're kind of like armor.
Okay, the goal is hopefully it's a good substitution for cashmere socks. First question he asked, well, he said thank you for the socks, obviously, but then he's like, are they cashmere? And I'm like, nope.
He loves his cashmere socks.
I told Holden I'll have to get him a new cashmere yarn and knit him a pair for Christmas again.
Well, I have a pair on cashmere socks on the needles for him.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna order one. I already know which one.
Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna move into
whips.
Yep. And I have a half object.
I do too.
That you have not seen. It is in this tote bag that I have from summer sock camp last year. And here is my half object. It is a worsted weight sock for my husband. It's not cashmere either, but it is Felici, which is very soft. And he's never had a worsted weight sock. So we'll see if he likes it or not. Oh, so obviously I got sick, and I'm usually the one that responds to the comments on our videos. And so I did not finish responding to comments from the last episode, and I'm sorry about that. But I do remember that we did receive a comment that was asking about why we knit so many DK weight socks. And for me personally, I prefer to wear DK weight socks, and my husband prefers to wear DK weight socks. Actually, he's not interested at all in fingering weight socks.
I know I prefer to knit DK weight socks over fingering, only because of the time difference that it takes. But
you like wearing both?
I think I prefer to wear fingering.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just don't always want to knit them.
So here in Delaware, we have, it gets cold. It doesn't, get like Arctic cold or anything, but it gets cold in the winters, and
it doesn't normally drop below 0 at all. Like, the lowest it really gets is like 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah.
So, but we, some people, they like to keep their heat on, and it's hot in their house. You wear short sleeves and shorts in the winter time. We are not those types of people. If it's cold outside, it's going to be cool in the house, but it's not going to be cold. So you're still going to wear.
Freezing.
It's not freezing in the house. Oh
I'm
my gosh.
always cold, okay?
She's cold in the summer when it's hot outside. So, we keep the house warmer than it is outside, obviously, at a safe temperature, especially for the small children. But you're still going to want to wear, nice warm socks and probably a sweatshirt or a sweater. And then in the summer, when it's hot outside, it was like almost 100 degrees one day last week, right?
Yeah.
So when it's hot outside, we, of course, run the air conditioning, and we're not those types of people that, some people in the summer, they run their air conditioning so cold that then they wear like their thick socks or their sweatshirts in the summer in the air conditioning. No, we're not that type of people. So we run the air conditioning, but you're still going to wear short sleeves and shorts and probably no socks in the house, unless you're Daphne.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so that's why
I'll come up with like a pair of sweatpants, socks, and a cardigan on. It's just like, are you cold? I'm like, yeah. What you mean?
But anyway, so to answer the question, I knit mostly DK weight socks because that's what I prefer to wear and my husband prefers to wear. And I knit socks mainly for myself and for him. But I do knit fingering weight socks. You're going to see a pair here in a minute. But anyway, these are worsted weight. So this is the first pair of worsted weight socks that I have knitted, or I haven't knit the whole pair yet. So this is the first one, and it is Felici in the colorway Bayou. And I have started the second one, and I've finished the cuff. I am using a US 5. Let me see if I can read the millimeter size. If I can't, I'm sorry. Is it on there?
It should be. What?
It's not Chowgu. I think they're Addies or something.
Oh, I was about to say, what are they then?
So, here's my Chowgu.
It's like not on here, you guys.
So, it's a 3.75 millimeter needle is what I'm knitting these on. And I followed it's not in here. Here's the ball band tag for the bleaching. I looked, so I have a worsted weight pattern that I forget the name of. I'll put it on the screen. And it's by Julianne. I forget what her name is. Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting everything. But so I pulled up that pattern to follow her counts for the sock. But it's a color work pattern, so I'm obviously not knitting him color work. But it's the size I needed to knit for his foot is 48 stitches, which is the same amount of stitches that I knit for my foot on a DK weight. So I didn't really have to follow her pattern because it's what I'm used to knitting anyway. It's just a bigger needle size with bigger yarn.
That makes it easy.
Yeah. So I did knit a heel flap and gusset for him, slip stitch heel flat and gusset for him, and then I knit a very short round toe because he likes the round toe. So there's that. And I started those socks. They're like summer sock camp socks.
I also have one sock of Felici. This is a fingering weight though, and it's the Stone Harbor, I'm pretty sure. And then, well, this is the cuff. The contrast is Regia, but I don't know the color or anything. It's like a...
It was one of their glitter bases.
Yeah, it's like a purpley gray glitter on it. So I did do an afterthought heel for this one. So I knit the cuff and then the body of the sock and then the toe all in one day. We went up to see
my sister-in-law.
Yes, I could not think of how to like word it for some reason.
My husband's sister. One of his sisters. He has three.
Yeah, we went up there for a graduation party and they're like an hour away from us. So I knit this mainly in the car in one day and it was so quick. I don't know why it was so quick, but it flew off. So it's a 1x1 rib on a US 1. It's on a 1.5.
Which is a 2.5 millimeter needle.
We're not good with words right now. Apparently, we can't talk about socks. It's a 64 count. It's a 1x1 rib. It's just stockinette and then a wedge toe. And then an afterthought heel. I did the one on Penrose Knits. And it was pretty easy to follow. It was a little scary to cut the yarn. I was like,
so she has a video?
I don't want to cut it. Yeah, she has a video.
Okay.
I think she calls it the peasant heel.
Peasant heel is usually when you put in waste yarn. Did hers have waste yarn?
She might have.
Okay.
She used it for one of her sock patterns a while ago. That's just the heel she used, and then she had a tutorial for it. So I just went on there and followed that one, and I just split these stripes perfectly. And I think my next sock will line up perfectly with these ones actually. So, and I only have 150-gram ball of yarn. So I actually have it.
Yeah, you're knitting the pair from the 150-gram ball.
Yeah.
And then
so I'm actually going to have a little bit left over, which I was trying not to. But then I was like, if I stop here, I can make them line up perfectly, I think. And I'm really hoping I can.
You dropped it.
It's okay. It's right there.
Did you show your bag?
I will in a second. So this is the Regia. It's just, I don't know if you can tell, but it is glittery. So just those two. And I really like it. So, I mean, I said DK weight socks take less time, but like knitting this one, it doesn't actually feel like there was much of a time difference between the DK and a fingering weight sock for me. And it's in my summer sock camp bag by Mountain State Stitches. And yeah, that's my sock.
Very nice. All right, I have another sock in here that I started for summer sock camp. And I bought it last year during summer sock camp and then saved it for this year. So this is a bag from You Got a Bag on Etsy. And the yarn that I am using is by Sweet Mountain Crafts and it's called Campfire. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Sweet Mountain Yarn Campfire. Yep. I am knitting these socks 2 at a time on a US 1.5 or 2.5 millimeter needle. And I am knitting the Rose City Rollers. It's the first time I'm knitting this pattern. And the last time I showed them, this sock was all the way up here, just like a row or 2 rows in. And then this sock was here because I started them out. I didn't start them at the same time, but I was knitting to the same point and then putting them on these needles together. So I have them on 2 16-inch cables. I think that's what that is. Or maybe they're 2 24-inch.
I was about to say, those look like 24.
Yeah, they're 24-inch. And so I'm knitting 2 at a time with 2 needles. And I did the slip stitch heel flap, and I'm working on the gusset decreases currently. So there they are. And
are you done with that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have another Mountain Stitches bag. This one I've had forever, though. And I have another pair. Not a pair. It's just one sock. But I have a Selena sock that I was working on. The Selena sock is by Nicole from Professor Pearl. But I was where that Progress Keeper is. And the only thing I changed about the pattern is I shortened the leg by quite a bit. But I'm just working on the foot now. I'm almost done with it, actually. And it's on a US 3, which is 3.25 millimeters. So there's that. And then the yarn, you hold 2 yarns together for this sock. It's a fingering and a mohair. And I'm using paper crane yarns in the Cheshire color. And then Hobby Diablo in eggplant, I think. But it makes a really pretty pattern. I mean, really pretty sock. I'm very excited about these, but I had to finish other socks first. But those are my socks. I did actually work on another sock yesterday, and then I had to rip it back more than like half the work that I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which sock?
The Amazing one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that heel didn't work.
Hmm.
So I don't know why. My counts were completely off, and then I had to rip it back. So I didn't even bring it up here because it's like way less than I had last time I showed it. So I'll talk about it next time if I work on it. But I'm kind of mad at it now.
It's a timeout.
Yes, I already finished like the heel flap, and then I'm working on it again. I'm like, I really don't want to do this heel flap. So.
My next project is in this bag by CB Crafty Girl, Carla of Carla Knits, and it is my Provence tee. I am knitting it out of Barocco Remix Light, and my yarn is attached to everything. So let me show you where I am before I start talking about it. I have split for the sleeves. It's a bottom up sweater. And the last time I showed it, I was where that orange gnome is.
Gosh.
Sorry, Daphne.
She's like, let me take out her eye.
So I knitted all the way from up here, split for the sleeves, and I have started the lace on the back. When I casted on this sweater, I cast it on for the extra large and then realized that that would be too big. It's supposed to have positive ease, but I did not want that much positive ease. So I just like slowly decreased as I worked up the body. And now I'm knitting the large size, which is still going to have, plenty of positive ease in it. I am knitting this sweater on a US 8, I believe. Yes, a US 8, which is a 5 millimeter needle. And I hope to be finished with this. I don't know. We'll say by the end of July. I'm not going to make any grand announcements. I'm going to be finished with this in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But
obviously.
Anyway, so.
Oh, I have another sweater. Mine's in a Delightful Works bag, which is Susan. It's so pretty.
It is pretty.
I love this one.
I like that sparkly fabric.
I didn't know it was sparkly actually when I bought it, and then it came, and I was like, "Oh, it's sparkly." Hey, I got my gnome too. Actually, I dropped my yarn. Yeah. Hold on. I barely worked on this. I thought I did more. Anyways, this is a souffle by Penrose Knits. My yarn fell and it's sticking to me.
Oh.
Leg. Hold on. It's mohair, so it's like just clinging. But anyways, there it is. And I was where that gnome was. I barely knit on it. It's like maybe an inch. And I've already split for the sleeves and everything, so it's just showing you the body, which isn't very much. I still have to go back and do this I-cord at the top. I don't know why I put this down. But anyways.
I do.
What'd I do? Oh, I do. Never mind.
We'll talk about it in a minute.
Yeah, I forgot about it even though it's sitting in front of me. Anyways, this is on a US 8, which is a 5mm. And I think I'm knitting the second size. And my feet the third. She's very size inclusive. So it's actually a really good pattern for like anyone to knit. And it's really simple actually how she does everything. And she has tutorials for most of her stuff. Like if she thinks it's something that needs to have some kind of tutorial, she pretty much has it. But so this top part is sheer, and then this is like thicker fabric. So up here you hold 1 strand of mohair, and down here you hold 2. And the ruffle you hold 1 strand through it. So, but that's it so far. And the yarn did come. I don't know if it came last time, but the yarn finally came, and they're slightly different colors than the original, but not too far off, so I don't even know if you'll be able to see it on camera. But I'm going to hold it with the original yarn that I had, basically, because you need 2 strands to do the body and the sleeves. So I can knit it full-length sleeves. Yes. I had enough to do the short sleeves, which is what the pattern calls for. She also has instructions how to make it long sleeve. But I decided I want that one to be long sleeve for sure because of the mohair. But yeah, that's it.
All right. So we had a little bit of a distraction, an unplanned cast on, and we are both holding them in our float totes.
Can you tell what colors we like, you guys? I think it's kind of obvious. Maybe a little bit.
I'm dressed kind of like in your colors today. So.
I know, and I'm like in light colors. Like, what is that? I don't wear super light colors.
So, Caitlin Hunter, Boylan Knitworks, came out with a new pattern early in June, June 2nd, June 3rd, something like that. And it's called the Easy V. And I saw it on Instagram. I don't even spend a lot of time on Instagram at all. I just happened to pull it up for some reason. And it was right there in my feed. And I looked at Daphne and said, we have to go to the Yarn Maven today. I have to knit this sweater.
Okay, she did not say today. She said, I have to go to Yarn Maven. I was like, okay, when are we going today? And then it was...
how it happened.
It took maybe an hour to convince her that we should go that day.
Yeah, that's about how it went. Well,
as Tom was sitting there telling her, no, don't do it.
Tom is my second son. And it was actually, so I actually had birthday money in my wallet that I was saving for a trip to the Yarn Maven. I didn't know what I wanted to buy, so I wasn't in a hurry. And then I saw this pattern and I was like, well, I can spend spend that on yarn for this sweater. And so we ended up going to the Yarn Maven, which is our local yarn store in Smyrna, Delaware. And I got yarn. So it's a colorwork sweater. It's got a ribbed V. And I bought Barocco Ultra Wool. It's a worsted weight sweater. And 3 skeins of Malabrigo Rios. So those are my colors. And I will show you what I've done so far. So I started working on this within like 2 days of purchasing the yarn. And then I spent some time on it, and then I put it down to go back to other stuff.
The gracious
Mm-hmm.
was like the main reason, I think.
Mm-hmm. But here's what I've done so far. So I've knit, this is the V-neck, and then I'm in the color work.
You're in the third section still?
I think it's so pretty. Yes.
It is so pretty.
Uh-huh. And so I'm currently knitting the body on US 9s, which are 5.5 millimeter needles. And I knitted the V-neck ribbing out of a US 7, which I don't have that memorized. What is that? That's probably a 4.5 millimeter needle. And I am just loving it. I can't wait to have it. But, you know, it's a worsted weight sweater, so it's going to be cold before I wear it. So I'm in no rush to finish it. I just want to enjoy the process. So Daphne,
what size did you knit?
I think it's the 4th. The 3rd.
What size did I knit? Let me see.
The 4th. I'm knitting the 4th.
I knit the 2nd then,
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, I think I knit the 2nd size.
So I knit the 4th size, which is a 48-inch bust, and Daphne's knitting the 2nd size, which is a 40-inch bust.
Yes.
And Daphne didn't have any plans to knit this sweater. This
Not at
was all me in the beginning. And then a couple of days after I got my yarn and started it, she came upstairs from the basement and said, I've got yarn, I'm going to knit it.
Okay, well, I didn't actually look at it up until then. And I was like, let me go see this, because I want to know what it looks like now. And so I went and I looked at the pattern and I was like, oh, that's so pretty. I want one too. And then I remembered I had ordered Lion's Brand Pound of Love off of Amazon, and so it came, but then Amazon was like, it didn't come yet. It was like, okay, you can cancel your order because it's late. So I was like, okay, I'll reorder it because I want this, because I'm gonna knit a baby blanket for someone. And so I was like, okay.
Didn't they like say that it was like out for delivery, and then they said that it was undeliverable or something like that?
Like something funny was happening with it. So I was like, okay, whatever. I really want this color for this baby blanket that I'm going to knit eventually. And so I was like, let me reorder it. So I did. And then the next day a ball came and I was like, what? And I was like, it's not supposed to be here until tomorrow. And then the next day another one came and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I had 2 balls of this yarn and obviously no plans for the second one. And so it's, like I said, Lion's Brand Pound of Love in the taupe color. So this is one ball of it. I always wind acrylic yarns, or I wind any yarn actually, just to make sure there's no... She wound
all my yarn.
Yeah.
Well, not the Barocco, but the
I like winding
Mm-hmm.
yarn, but I always wind any yarn just in case there's knots in it, because I don't want to knit and get to a knot and not realize it. I want to know where the knots are. So this is it. And so I had that yarn, and then I had bought yarn for stuffed animals to knit the kids, but I don't think it's the best yarn to use for that. It was too thick. It was making them huge, and I didn't want to use it. It's Craftmart Value, which is Michael's brand yarn, which is 100% acrylic yarn. So this is the tag. And I have 3 colors. It's biscuit, white, and curry. So, and this is, it says worsted weight, but it is thicker than a worsted weight. So it changes my gauge a lot. But I also knit the ribbing on a US 9, which is a 5.5 millimeter. And the body is on a US 10, so that's probably a 6. No, it's on a 10.5, which is a 6.5. And I did knit the 2nd size. But I had to cut out the last section of color work.
It's really big.
It's great, though, okay? Like, it's really great. Okay, I do not do gauge swatches for acrylic yarn, ever. I don't know why. I choose not to, and I'm fine with that. So if you are not fine with it, do a gauge swatch, okay? I am fine with oversized sweaters, okay? So...
She does like oversized sweaters.
Disclaimer, do not follow what I do if you want your sweaters to fit properly. But anyways, so you can actually see the details more in my yarn too, just because her yarn's so dark. So it has this little shoulder detail in the rib, and then that's V. It's on the back side too, and it is on both shoulders, that detailing. And it just is so pretty. I went and tried this on. Well, I was like halfway through the first white color work. I was like, oh, it's huge. I was like, that's fine. I'm not worried about it. But then I was like, oh, it's getting really long too. So this color work, although it is finished for my sweater, it is not finished based on the charts. Based on the chart, there should be one more section of the orange. So it should go the biscuit, white, curry, biscuit, white, curry. And it was gonna go down. So it's about...
It would have been like a swan show on her.
Yeah, it's about here now that I split for sleeves. But if I kept knitting the color work and the short rows, it would have been down to my elbow, maybe even past my elbow. So I'm like, I don't want that. So I cut it short. I did not knit.
And then she flipped her colors.
Yeah, I flipped my colors because I was like, I want it to highlight the curry. So I did flip my colors. I took out the other color work of curry and just kept those. So
your color work is what, 5 rows shorter than it's supposed to be?
No, because I also took out some of the
okay.
plain stockinette.
Oh, okay.
Because in between, like where the colors change, there is some stockinette. So I did take out some. I think I went back and took out some of the top white, and then I took out almost all of them in the curry colorway, and then most of them in this white too.
Okay.
So I made sure it was shorter, and I felt that since it is oversized, it doesn't need short rows from what I know about oversized sweaters.
The pattern calls for short rows at a certain point once you finish the
Yeah,
color
you
work.
like finish it, and then on the back you're supposed to do short rows, but I'm like, it's not going to work for me doing that. So I was like, I'm going to cut it short. But it's pretty cool the way it looks without that third one. But like I said, it's because of my yarn choice and the fact that I did not do a gauge swatch. But I wouldn't have wanted to use
she picked her needles based off the needles I'm using on mine.
She's my gauge swatch sometimes. But like I said, don't take my advice. If you want your
don't
sweater,
do what you do.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. No, I mean, if it's like, if I had the yarn she chose, I'd do a gauge swatch. But since it's just like really affordable yarn and yarn that I've already had that didn't really have plans for it, I'm like, I don't really care to do a gauge swatch right now. So
I think it's going to turn out fine.
Yeah, it's on. I'm past the sleeve. I've only knit like 2 rounds though. So there you go. Yeah. But it'll be super cozy.
Yeah. So that is our unplanned cast-ons. All right. So that's it. That's all we have.
Yeah.
We have not heard from our 1,000 subscriber giveaway winner. So you have until the end of June, right? Do you have your phone on you? Can you look at the calendar? June 20th. So we're going to give you the winner of the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. We will give you until June 30th. If you do not contact us, I'm going to put the name of the winner across the screen right now. If you do not contact us by June 30th, contact us at roseopalknits@gmail.com. If you do not contact us by June 30th, we will pull a new winner and announce that winner in our next episode, which we are scheduled to record over the July 4th weekend.
Yeah.
So, and we should be able to stay on track with that, I think. Yeah.
I mean, unless one of us gets sick again.
Yeah, that's
or
really
something.
Yeah, if there's illness in the house, that'll usually throw us off schedule. But I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.